Hello, traders and investors, and everyone who's interested in trading and investing. Let me share that one first. And today, I'm going to be talking about important part of copying. Preparing my drawings. I'm going to try today. It was really interesting yesterday's flash on those cryptos. It seems like people really turning their risks on. Right, where's my whiteboard here? Right, the off whiteboard. Okay. Right. And meanwhile, looking for some trading opportunities, and seems like no money. Right, so we'll look at that one, over here. It doesn't look like that. Okay. Oh, yeah, weak. That one as well. Yeah, pushing me to EU side for some reason. Because I'm not sure I'm not going to be trading that or not, because it's just random stuff. So probably stick to talking today. And no trading also is better than trading when you don't know what to trade, and it doesn't look like. Right, how about opposite? So silly, what we're trading here. Yeah, again, no clear signs or anything. It just can pop there and fall down there or go up or whatever. So I don't like it either. It doesn't look not that random to me. So and that one grows. FHA. Let's have a look. So FHA. Right, let's have a look on market cap or something. Yeah, it has a potential, I believe. So who knows? Right. So 27% open 24 hours. Yeah, that's all right. And 2.4% over 7 days, showing strong short-term momentum. Right, yeah, telling us there's a strong short-term momentum. Interesting. Let me then log in and do a little, what is name? Do a little long trade for a few bucks, but yeah, as only as a demo purposes. So like playing cards, you don't really play for nothing. You have to play for a few coins, like not to get bored too much. So, okay, oh, that's interesting. Somebody's gonna break my code. No, I don't think so. Right. Okay. So let's get back to that one there. That one there. Take that one away. Okay. So what we've got is not that one, not that one. No, was that one. FHE. The graph doesn't work. That's interesting. FHA. Yeah. So I give it along like $15 or $20 or something, no more than that. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so 10x, like drop to 2x. We don't want that. Hey, got some, what is that? Got some alerts straight away. Just like that. And let's see what comes out. Yeah, so 3x is fine, relatively safe. Relatively, let's say, oh look, the tax profit straight away. Let's call on it. What was it? Okay. Yeah. And regarding previous performance, so if you're interested or if you're not, then nothing, nothing happened during the last 30 days. So it just jumped here, but if we open 60, so you see it was like few mistakes here, but we go back on track. So all good, all good. Right, and 7 days, nothing. Okay, so copying, why is it important? Why it's important to copy others? And this thing here relates to IQ talks. You can have a previous stream where I try to explain how IQ is what IQ is actually. It's quite important because people don't know. Right, it's there. So, so getting back to our neural networks here. Right? So, what happens? So basically, again, training happens when you've got your data set here, right? It goes to your sensors. Let's say an eye, a ear, right? It goes there. Then it goes to the brain, and brain starts making sense of the information you receive, right? So you got neuron, and then neurons start to make connections, right, with the synapses, and then depends on information, you're getting response, right, and then you make sense of things, right. So, for example, and then that happens many times, right. So, or just like recap what happened before. And the thing here is, for example, when like really little child is starting learning, well, they're getting just chaos, right? They're getting chaotic information, and they don't understand what to do. That's why their hands all over the place, right? Their legs all over the place, and they put everything in the mouth. And the reason why they put in the mouth because like plenty of senses in the mouth as well, and they want to taste that, and they got information about that, and so on and so forth. So in our case, because we have to have plenty of repetitions, let's say plenty 12 repetitions in 12 power of 12, right? So we're having plenty of repetitions there, and our neurons are getting sophisticated, learning particular things. They're getting uh, plenty of connections, and then memory molecules are also in the neurons themselves. Like as long as like latest theory tells us that connections are for sending impulses, right? But in order for neuron to decide to which connection to send the impulse, this or that one, and which one has more weight in it, there are particular memory cells in the neuron itself. So when neuron receives the signal from the other neuron, right? And because, like for example, you've got this neuron there, and you've got two connections from the same neuron. So if uh, if signal goes through one neuron, then this neuron here is having particular memory molecules, and it like analyzes from which synapse a signal is received based on the memory molecule. It sends the signal to this particular connection and not that one, right? And this is how the thing formed. So basically, so what you have is information goes through the brain, changing neurons with their memory evolutionary molecules, and also growing or using existing connections in order to create the knowledge, right? And why copying is important, because you can't really get information out of chaos yourself, right? And you have to rely on someone's knowledge. So you have to copy in order to derive important information out of the knowledge yourself, right? So when a kid is learning to do something, uh, people are explaining to that kid that you have to do this, this, and that, and the kid doesn't understand what they do, and then, they just repeat. So why this is happening? Why? This is happening because we've got limits. Our brain has limited parameters. The first one is number of neurons, right? That's one limited parameter, and another one is time, which we have for learning, right, or analyzing the reality. And we have limited amount of neurotransmitters, right? Neurotransmitters, transmitters, right? So let's say uh, for we've got our data set with images of cats and dogs for a child to present, and a child can look at those images only for a certain period of time. Then their neurons are getting exhausted, and the child start crying and saying like, "No more cats and dogs. I'm sick of them. Just like back off, like leave me alone." Right. So that delta time is a limited, finite resource. Okay. So why this is important? Let's go. Finite key process. So why this is important? Let's move it across. Let's move it across. Okay. So we stated that we've got limited amount of resources. Uh, so what happens in the wild nature, where I believe people were living for another like 2 million years, is the environment is quite complex. So what is the complexity of the environment? The first one is harsh conditions, right? So harsh conditions. Like Africa is like not a pleasant place. You've got lions, you've got this and that. So that means like you've got predators, right? Predators, right? Then third thing is like people are social creatures, and they have to understand who they are and what kind of weight they've got in the group, say group, and they have to predict the behavior of the group member, right? Uh, so all of that is making quite a high complexity, right? Complexity of the existence, right? And making quite a high cost of the mistake, right? Because people are social creatures. That means if one stupid person starts showing bad others, do copy that person, so entire group could like perish, right? Because like they do mistake, all of them, and that's the danger, right? So yeah, for that the learning process has to be optimized as much as possible. Yeah, another thing is I forgot to mention is, yeah, people are weak in terms of natural weapons, right? They don't have fangs, they don't have like any claws, or like they're physically weak and stuff like that. But they have to fight a lion, they have to fight the leopard, and so on and so forth, right? So, and for that, they need a high level of cooperation. Cooperation, right? So, having said that, what we've got is we have high, really high need, uh, high level of need for learning, because like the more complex environment is, the faster you have to learn, because apart from all of that, you also have cross group competition. Yeah, and as you know, like 95% of male population was killed in battles, not just like died of some other diseases and stuff like that, right? So the warfare is another thing where people always find amusement in. They have to find, and also they have to learn a lot in order to resist competitive group and so on and so forth, right? So need for learning. Now, so need for learning need for learning is the survival necessity. Say it like that. So the so you've got your chaos data set, chaos, chaos data set, right? And you have to, uh, and you're newborn, let's say newborn, right? And you've got your chaotic data set, and you have to figure out what kind of features in this data set are important for you, and you rely a lot on help, right? So the cheapest survival strategy is they just to copy others, because if they are alive, right, and if they are relatively healthy, that means like they have succeeded already. So all you have to do, you have to just copy them. And when you copy, so first you copy successful strategy, successful strategy, because who wasn't successful, they did, obviously, right? So you copy alive people, and that increases your chances to be alive. That happened during evolution. So that's the cheapest way, because otherwise you have to do a lot of iterations. You have to do a lot of iterations with relatively unpredictable outcome. But because you've got limited resources, because you've got limited time, then you can't afford it. So that's why the copy is successful. Uh, right. Okay. So I have to get rid of that. I have to get rid of that. Okay. So we do copy successful strategy. What happens without trading? Let's have a look. Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it didn't lie. It did it. So it goes like you see here. Robot helps us with the following. It goes up, it puts take profit, and it puts protective stop loss. So if price returns back, we don't lose anything because the trade's going to be closed. But if it goes up, we get the take profit and we leave. Right. Okay. So copy is a successful strategy. Right. Another thing is copy compresses previous iterations. So and what that means is that natural selection favors those who copy, right? Also easy to understand, right? Because like if those who copy better and faster, so, and they copy successful strategies, then that means like they survive more, instead of those who like too lazy to copy and say, "Oh, I'm not gonna copy you. I'm gonna do my own strategies." All right, good luck in this world nature, and we see how long would you go. So, so that's that. I have to press that there so you can read my writings. Okay, so that is there. So copy is very important. Uh, and the following. So what we've got here is humans do have long childhood. Exactly because of that, right? So they've got plenty of things to copy, plenty of skills to make, and they have a problem with humans because humans are living everywhere and they have to be generalists. So they have to have a general knowledge, right? General or abstract knowledge, in order to apply in different areas of human existence, right? So let's say the what to eat, whom to fight, how to experience emotions, and so on and so forth. And uh, and the kids, when they are born, they have to be taught by elders in order to accept all that knowledge base and in order to survive. Uh, and another thing is the longer the childhood, the more data a child can absorb. Right? So, like if you've got a childhood for 2 years, and then in 2 years, that's it. Your brain is rigid, like mine. Then you can't accept really new information and get excited about it. And that means the time span delta t, t delta t is smaller. And that means your training time of your neural network, let's say, if we get back to this schema with the data set, brain, result, right? So simply the number of iterations falls down. Number of iterations falls down, and of course, like less iterations, less, let's say, epochs of your training. That means like worse the results are, right? And the third one is social transmitting, right? Social, pardon me, pardon me, so I don't know wrong writing. Social transmitting. So what that means is it replaces genetic hard coding, right? So for example, mammals do have genetic reactions. Humans also do have genetic reactions, but we can unlearn them, right? Let's say turn them off, and especially this touches trading because trading has a lot of emotional reactions designed to be in the wild African nature, but not in front of the trading screen. Okay, let's move further. Moving further, and we've got the so the next thing is, oh, what is about our trading? Oh, so what we got out? No, not that one. That one. We got out by stop loss. Bad day. Eh? Yeah, it's a protective stop loss, but at least we didn't lose anything, so that's good. That's good. And what to do next? I don't know. Any suggestions? Try again. Oh, let's try again. So while I'm talking. Okay, so well, first of all, is copying is not mindless repetition. Repetition. Uh, so basically, copying is the actual the existing strategy. So, like, because like you're able to see this, that means like somebody tried it before you, and that means it's like more or less working. However, the system doesn't know why it works, so there is no why. There is no why in this. It only knows, like a child knows, like it works. When you start riding a bicycle, you saw how people rode it before, and then you think, okay, like I have to learn how to ride it. And then somebody that says to me, well, you have to keep it on hands on the handles and then push pedals and so on and so forth. And then you learn that the problem is not in the pushing and steering. The problem is you have to find the balance, but also your neurons supposed to learn that the arm movements and body posture on the push bike is the key to keep the balance, and then you ride. As also, coping gives you three main things, or it prevents you from getting expensive lessons. So copying straight away shows you what is allowed, right? What is not, right? And what is dangerous. So you don't have to learn it through your own traumas and what is your own suffer. Something like that, right? Okay. So what happens? What happens? Let's say now is the say now I'm gonna draw parallel between neuron, neuron and deep learning. Deep learning, right? Are they the same? So first, humans, right? What humans have? What kind of humans? Humans do have a gear, which, like the most important one, is the mirror neurons. Neurons, right? This is the gear which is making significant shortcut in our learning process and our copying process. Right. Well, you can learn about mirror neurons yourself, but basically in two words about that, people do have them, and when they see other people, so those neurons are trying to recognize the emotions written on other people's faces, and they fire the same emotions in their head. So where if everyone around you is laughing, you can't stop laughing, right? Like, I mean, it's hard to resist laughing. The same is the opposite. Yeah, if you are not the person, the reason for laughing, right? And that's the opposite. But let's say there's a neutral thing everyone is laughing at, and that's why movies are adding this like background laugh in order to make you happy and laugh more, right? That's one thing. Yeah, that's about mirror neurons, right? So that means is you don't think when you're copying, right? When the group has particular notion, you have it as well automatically, as long as you consume a lot of information about their emotions, right? And because you've got this part of your brain which is going to work either you want it or not. Another one is behavioral mimicry in infants, right? So the mimicry, right, in infants. So what that means is if you smile at the baby, baby smiles back to you, and they just smile because they see smile, and their neurons in their head also like commanding them to smile back. Why this is done precisely for that, right? So more they copy your emotions, they start develop their own emotions, and they react to your emotions, and that's why they rapport, so, rapport is established. Okay, so that's that. Uh, neural networks, in turn, what they do, well, I mean, deep learning. I've been working with in deep learning area a lot, so I can talk a lot about that, like endless stuff. So we've got supervised learning where you've got labeled data and so on and so forth. So what that means is like we predefine criteria by which we are going to judge our model is it successful or not, and we just display sets of images over and over again until model is going to build all neurons and weights in order to recognize the patterns we labeled beforehand, right? So it doesn't have to do anything; it just copy the repetitive cycle where image goes through the model, and model is deriving particular pixel values and assembles them in the clusters of weights in order to have a understanding. Right. Yes, and the important thing here is pre-training. Right, I'm going to be drawing here is so basically, let's say here is time of training, or let's say number of epochs, and here is precision, let's say, or quality of the model. So basically, you start here usually in a zero, and then you start training, and you train, and your training usually goes like that, and then they can be plateau here, then goes that, and then it grows up, and it reaches something like, let's say, in happy days, 99.9% accuracy, and it just gets here, right? So what pre-training means is you get this model, it's already learned set of features. Let's say we tried to teach the model how to recognize cat and dog, right? So it learns the cat has ears, and the dog has ears, eyes, nose, and so on and so forth, right? So it got those features, and they look similar to cats and similar to dogs. What means pre-trained model means like we can take this model, cat and dogs, and start feeding images of, let's say, giraffes and hyenas. And because it has this set of features already predefined, the learning process is going to be like that, right? So it is going to use existing knowledge here in order to extract additional little differences between ears, eyes, and noses, and so on, and it's going to recognize things much faster. This is how fine tuning works in LLMs, right? So you get LLM, and it has already it had training process beforehand on large corpus of data, and it has a library of features and clusters of features just there, and you just apply your own information on there, and it learns on your own information. It learns to make sense much faster because your information gets in clusters much faster than if you in comparison if you start from the 0 point and it goes right there, and you spend plenty of money for GPU servers in order to train the model from the beginning. So it always good to take a pre-trained model, and also in deep learning business, sometimes you try out different models, different architectures, pre-trained ones, right? So you take it, let's say YOLO A, or you take, I don't know, don't remember, going with Hugging Face and fights. How it touches us like children, right? So that's exactly the same. So a child during their childhood, they are getting this expensive process. Uh, they are getting this expensive pre-training process work, right? Uh, where they obtain general knowledge, and where they build a library of features they are going to extract later in their life, right? So, for example, if you were in childhood, you were doing some sports, it's easier for you to do some physical activity later in life. So, let's say if you train jiu-jitsu, for you it's easy to go in wrestling, or vice versa. Or if you train running, then you go skiing. Easy, much easier for you because you've got this a basement here which was pre-built for you, and the same touches knowledge, right? So more you read, more you make sense of things, the more features you extract, and more clusters of knowledge and general knowledge you are building in your head, and then you just repeat. So, and you just copy other people, just reading basically to copy other person's experience, right? So they create experience for you, and you just copy, embody yourself, and then you realize, okay, I would have done this and that if I was there, and so on and so forth. And you just do that repetition again. So, right, let's move it there. Let's move it there. So, why copying is necessary entry point? Because copy would supply you with vocabulary, vocabulary, and basically vocabulary means like you've got your chaos words all over the place, and vocabulary is creating definitions and clusters for you where you make sense of things. That's the vocabulary. Then action space, action space. That you understand what to do, what not to do, what's harmful, what's not harmful, and so on and so forth, and by basic assumptions. That's is basic, casual assumptions, assumptions. Right. So copy narrows the reality to something to think about, right? Because otherwise, how would you begin? And the same with me. Like I first I started trading myself. Then I started copying other people, listening to other people. After I blow up my account, of course. And now, and now what? And now, yeah. So what happens here? Look, it's too early to say. Right, going further. Eh, right. So if you skip listening to other people, if you skip this like skipping stage, skip this stage of copying, what happened? Well, basically, you try to think independently, and you get into the random. So yeah, random is our enemy. We have to living in a random world. We have to find things which are not random and somewhat predictable, right? And yeah, and another thing is people have high IQ, high IQ. Usually they just copy hard. So they copy longer and deeper. So they don't rush to the next stage. They copy until they understand, and they can explain to themselves like why they copy, what did they copy, and what kind of information can they derive. So copy. Well, basically, to conclude, like to conclude. So copy, or let's say copying, is the scaffolding for your IQ. Yeah, and trading, of course, right? And for IQ and trading, because right, the definition of IQ, I want to remind you, is the ability to predict future longer in time and higher the precision or probability. So that's the Q is 4, and more you copy, the better you would be able to predict, because you derived a lot of information out of copying, and then you make your own trading decisions and so on and so forth. Right. So copying is just building the basement for your model, internal or deep learning model, and intelligence will begin when the model won't work, and you would need to understand why it's not working. But basically, in deep learning, the how to say it? So put a graph here, and our learning happens like that. I'm getting to the top. Right? So in deep learning, this area here is most complicated. Right? It's quite easy to get to the 70% accuracy, or above it, I say 80, 90%. It's a bit of a challenge, because there you have to have more features, more features, and difference also increases. Is increasing. Right. So IQ development starts. Yeah. Yeah. Next one interesting is going to be, I mean, and this is also important in trading, is the herd mentality. Mentality. And how to avoid it. How to herd. Herd. Yeah. How to avoid it. How to resist it, and how not to panic. Now, that's it about IQ and copying for today. What about here? Oh, what? Have to. What percentage we've got? 4%. Now we can hijack and slowly move away and see how it goes. If it goes lower, then whatever. But okay, so hedging now. 57 plus 3, 60 cents are lost, let's say. Then, but if it goes in a particular way, I'm going to be able to add the position into the way, and then we see how it goes. But for now, we'll just like then random. So if it goes there, which is 124, 125, 110, so 12%, I'm going to be able to make something of it, or at least reduce the losses. And also, if it goes up, straight away adding to the green one, and also reduce the losses, or even win something. So nothing to do for now, but as you can see, in this corridor, it can go one day, 16 hours. So I'm not going to torture you to look at big graphs with me. This is what Oracle is designed for. So it has to look after our positions and only notifiers what it's supposed to notify us, right? Or we have to pay our attention for now. Oh, also added this little thing, so now you see which position is bigger, and if it's yellow, that means the entire entry is neutral. That means like doesn't matter which way it go. If it's yellow, we just have a particular fixed loss, but effective position here is just 5 units, right? It's just 5 units. It's 120 minus 115 is just 5 units. So that means like if it goes down 5 units, that's what we are going to lose, apart from this 60 cents here. But yeah, part of the trading. Right, herd mentality is going to be our next subject. And thanks everyone for watching for today.